So what are some important things to consider or ask of potential real estate agents when you are considering selling your home and you need someone to help facilitate the transaction? There's a number of things to consider and questions that I would suggest you ask of the real estate agents that you are interviewing when that time comes. One, do you feel comfortable with that person? Make sure that it's someone that you can communicate with, that the conversation is natural and not forced. You're going to be spending a lot of time with your real estate agent, both in person and on the phone, so make sure that it's someone that you actually enjoy being around and someone that you feel that you can trust. Number two, don't trust credentials or letters behind a title or rankings. They are all so ridiculously subjective. Rankings, for instance, if someone tells you that they are certified divorce real estate agent, or they are negotiation certified, or they are foreclosure certified, that's all a bunch of BS, okay? All that means is that they spent $300 or $3,000 and they sat in the conference room at Holiday Inn for 3 hours on a Saturday, and now they're considered certified in whatever field they're trying to convince you of. That's a bunch of BS. Don't even buy into that. Two, don't always trust ranking reports. At this moment in time, I happen to be the top producing agent in my office, but that may change next week. Just because, again, it's subjective. So, example being, you may interview two real estate agents, one of which tells you they're number one in their office year after year, month after month, and the next real estate agent tells you that they are 35 in their office, ranked number 35 in their office. They're actually honest with you. Think about this scenario. Yes, this guy may be number one in his office, but what he's not telling you is there's only 7 agents in his little boutique office. So it's a lot easier to be number one when you're only competing against 6 other people. The other agent, number 2, on the other hand, is ranked number 35, but she's in a mega office with over 500 different agents. In your opinion, who is actually more successful, the number 1 out of 7 or number 35 out of 500? So it's very subjective. I've actually had that happen to me before. I got an offer from an agent on a very, very expensive house, and it intrigued me. So I like to know who I'm working with before we ever respond to anything. So I went and looked at that agent's website, and right across the front of it, it says number one agent in Mooresville. Well, that got me very intrigued. So I pulled the rankings for the top 100 agents in Mooresville. That particular person didn't even exist in the top 100. So I dug a little deeper, and lo and behold, it was my example from the first agent. They are number 1 in their Mooresville office that only has 6 real estate agents. So yes, she is number 1 in Mooresville in her office. There's a whole lot of other agents right there with a lot more successful than that particular agent was. So just think with this, not with these, when it comes time to interviewing an agent. Number 3, and I pause. It is never a good idea to use your mother's best friend who happens to have a real estate license, but she also works part-time as a secretary at the high school. Don't ever hire a real estate agent out of guilt, whether it's your aunt, your mama's best friend, or cousin Sally that hasn't practiced in 3 years but still has her real estate license. Don't operate out of guilt. It's a bad idea. Number 4, test the agent's integrity. If that agent comes in and has told you that based on what they see, your house is a rock solid valuation at $350,000, and they've got all the data to prove it, but you want more for that house. One way to test their integrity is say, I'll list with you if we do it at $450,000. I know you're saying only $350,000, but that house down the street sold for so-and-so, and it was here, and my house is so much nicer, so I think that we can get more. I'll list with you if you list it at $450,000. Man, if they jump like that for the listing, that's probably not the person that you want in your corner when it comes to selling your home. So just some things to think about. There's so many questions to ask when it comes to interviewing a realtor, but that's some things to consider when the time comes. I would love to be one of the people that you sit down and interview. So if you're interested and you would like to meet with me, again, call, text, email, no obligation, and I'm certainly not going to hound you, but I would love the opportunity to speak with you when the time comes.